Hello and welcome back, and in today's video I thought I'd give you a quick garden tour. So it's a July garden update and you can see where all my crops are up to. So here's my tomatoes that I have in little plastic greenhouses. I'd love a real greenhouse. These are the Amish paste tomatoes, and there's one absolutely massive one, and the others are just sort of normal size. I've reached the top of the greenhouse now, so I've snipped the tops and hopefully we'll start seeing more fruits. There's plenty of flowers around, so hopefully we'll get a good crop off those. And then I've got a cucumber here, which I just stuck in a little pot. I don't know how it's going to do. It's getting a bit bitten by these slugs. But we've got some tiny buds coming. And then in this greenhouse is the Chartwell cherries. And again, they've all reached the top height of the greenhouses now. So I've cut the tops to let them put all their energy now into the fruit. And again, we've got some fruit here coming, quite a lot further up here, got fruit. So hopefully we'll get a good crop. And just outside of the greenhouse area, we've got what I'm now calling Squash Corner, which is a new raised bed I've put in this year. Well, actually it's an old raised bed, but in a new place. And it's just 1 metre times 1 metre. I've got cranberry squash, and as you can see, the plant itself is super happy. I just have to hope that some of these little squash that are forming are pollinated and stay on and begin to grow. And you can see I've got lots of flowers, a lot of male flowers here in the middle, and then there are some tiny squash, but I'm not sure that one has actually been pollinated there, so that may not continue, I doubt. But as a whole, the plant's looking fantastic, so we just have to hope that it keeps on growing, and at some point I need to take some action to make sure that we actually get fruit and not just all this amazing leaf work. And then at the back here is where I've been getting all of the serpent squash that I've been making into cakes. Sorry about the seagull noise, they're noisy tonight. And that is in a pot. It's in an old upturned water butt base. But anyway, as you can see, Squash Corner is absolutely thriving in terms of foliage, and so we just want to see it get to some fruit. If it doesn't, it still looks absolutely beautiful, so I'm happy with that. And here, I've had this a couple of years. This is a mulberry plant in a pot. Never had a big fruit crop from it, but you never know, we might get one this year. And then at the back here are these unidentified tomatoes where I got completely mixed up with the labelling. So let's just call them tomatoes, outdoor types. And these are doing really well actually, especially this middle one. We've got loads of flowers on that. And we've got a lot of fruit too. So I've got them in the plant tomato halos, and they're also sitting in some felt soil bags, and got some decent compost in there. So let's see how they get on as the summer progresses. My lovely pond is full of water lilies and plants and life. and this pond gives me an awful lot of pleasure. So that's just a bathtub sunk into the ground if you haven't seen it before. Then we've got another hiding away here. That's another tomato plant in a pot here. Next to it is some strawberries in a raised pot. Let me show you this tomato. Even though it's in the shade of all of them, it has got absolutely loads, amazing amount of tomatoes. Oops. And more to come, as you've just seen, loads of flowers. So that's very happy. I've got 2 more tomatoes. I love to make tomatoes, grow tomatoes, because I make all kinds of things for the freezer, which keeps us going all year. So 2 more unidentified tomato types here. Again, lots of flowers. We've got quite a few fruit under there hiding. So really good start, I think, for the tomatoes. In fact, the ones in the greenhouses are doing less well than these outdoor ones at the moment, but you never know with the outdoor. We could get blight or a sudden downfall of rain and all kinds of problems can start. So let's capture them now in all their glory. Along here, if you follow me on Instagram, you might have seen us planting this. I think it's in my story thing. This is something I've wanted for years. It's an apple tree, which is espaliered against the garage here. And it was really small when it came. I only planted it this year. It came as a 2-layered tree already. Looking lovely. There's no apples on it. All the blossom got blown off almost immediately I planted it, which was bad timing. But that's life and that's gardening. So we've got the 3 main raised beds here. So we've got the kale, 1 kale I've left here. I've taken the rest out if you saw that in another video. And I've got spaghetti squash growing. It's not been terribly happy. It was being shaded out by the kale, but I think it might come away now. We'll see. We'll see what happens. If it does, it will take up a lot of this bed, which is really empty at the moment. And if it doesn't, I'll have a choice to do something else, which is always a good thing. A lot of my lettuce bolted. My initial set of lettuce, all of the cos have bolted now, but the red Grenoble's still looking really happy actually. It's been very, very sunny for this time of year here in the UK, and I don't always keep up with the watering as well as I should, so they all bolted, but this is really great picking lettuce, and that's that first batch from the videos. If you want to know how to grow this kind of lettuce and just take off leaves as you need them, have a look at the video. I'll link it in the somewhere. This second bed here is my bean bed this year. Beans and peas, and this lovely bean frame that we made. Over here I've got peas being really eaten by the birds. We've got some mange tout growing. There's the mange tout. They're really delicious, great for freezing. So I've already blanched and frozen a lot of those. And on this side of the tangle are sugar snaps. Fantastic crop. All got a real battering in the wind the other day, so I'm hoping that the peas will continue to produce, but if they don't, they don't. And then I've taken the broad beans out actually just this week and finished those, and so we're now down here, and the rest of the frame have got pole beans, climbing beans, and this variety here is called Cherokee Trail of Tears, a heritage variety with a really interesting and sad story behind it, and these are just coming into flower. They've grown right to the top of the bean frame and they're really stretching up. And then down this end we've just got some dwarf French beans, which I put in a bit later. Well, they're not far off actually either. And then the third main bed I've got covered over still has got in the shallots that I planted from seed Oh, they're looking great. So these are about ready. I'm going to leave them in for now because I'm going away for a few days. Well, that's the shallots all ready to go. This is the EnviroMesh netting I use to help with pests, but also a lot to do with the wind and us being on the coast here, trying to keep the salt off. And then here in the rest of this bed, let me give you a perspective of it, I've got my leeks in. So I've never grown leeks before, so I've got those multi-sown using Charles Dowding's method, and we'll see how they get on. Looking very happy at the moment. This here is sheep's wool, old sheep's wool packaging I get from a meat box that I have delivered, and they use lovely sheep's wool as one of the insulators to keep the meat frozen, and it's fantastic as a mulch. So all my leeks here are mulched in with it. And then I've got a little gap here which I may put some carrots in if I get a chance. This is where I've taken out the garlic, so the garlic's all ready now. So I hope you enjoyed that look around the garden, and let me know in the comments below how things are going in your garden here in July. Where are things up to? Are your tomatoes further on mine? How are your squash? What is happening in your garden? What are you most excited about this year? Let me know in the comments below, and please subscribe if you'd like to see more videos on the themes of growing food, cooking food and getting creative about living a lower cost life. Thank you.